Hey, this is Kevin from Real Born Flips, and tell me if this has happened to you. It's happened to me a couple of times, and it just seems like one of those things that doesn't feel like this should even be allowed on eBay. In this case, I had basically this large lot of brand new pantyhose and had it for sale. I had it listed at $170, and it was kind of at the point where I was willing to take an offer if one came along. And I got an offer from a buyer at 130. I accepted the offer, but as I was packing the items for shipping, I realized I had made a mistake. You can see now this listing says legs, Hanes, control top, waist shear, toe pantyhose, size Q, huge lot, 49 pair. When I sold this the first time, it said 50 pair. And as I was doing my little my little habit of ensuring that I'm shipping the correct thing, I counted these up and I got to 49, and I thought, well, maybe I left one in the bin, so I checked the bin because I did have some other pantyhose in there, not in there. And so I could not believe I had miscounted. And so in this listing, I actually listed every pack and the quantity. So like there were 10 J.C. Penney of these single packs, so 10 total there. And then if you add all these up, you get to 49. So it took me a while to figure out what happened, but as I was doing this, there were 50 pair. And as I was, counting these out to list them in the description, I found one pack that it just looked like it might have been, like the pantyhose might have been taken out. I don't think they were used. I think they were probably taken out and then put back into the package. And it just didn't look quite like it was original. And so I took that one out. And that's why you only have 49 here. What I forgot to do was change the title to 49 pair. So the buyer, I messaged the buyer and said, hey, I got a problem. I made a mistake with the title. I said, I think I originally had 50 pair, and I ended up pulling one because I didn't think it was the condition was quite right. I only listed 49 in the description, but the title said 50. And so I thought, I'm not going to ship them to the guy without kind of getting a confirmation from him that he's okay with that. I said, if you'd like, I can cancel the order. He said, in fact, it'd be funny to get that actual message up because it struck me as odd. So let me see if I can pull that message. But what struck me about it was, I thought, well, it's okay if he wants to cancel it, that's fine. I'm not, I'd rather cancel it and maybe I'll sell it to someone else for what I was asking. And boy, I don't know how long, it might take me too long to find it, but yeah, here it is. So he says, I appreciate your honesty about the missing pair. Yeah, I'd like to cancel the order. So I thought, great. He asked me to cancel, so I can cancel the order. Say buyer directed me to cancel it, even though there was a mistake in the title. I think what he really wanted was for me to offer to give him basically a refund. Now, this was 49 pair, say 50 pair, of unused pantyhose that I ended up selling for $130. And I know they were worth more than that, but I was taking an offer. So I canceled it. I told him, hey, you should have your refund. Sorry about that, it was my mistake. And I relisted it, changed the title, and it sold within an hour. Actually, someone made an offer. I countered. I thought, well, I'm just going to counter at 130. I countered at 130 and they accepted. and so like very quickly they sold. I shipped them. The buyer got them. Let's see if I can find her reply. Excellent seller, exactly as described. Well, because I had the total correct. Would definitely purchase from. Again, positive. So it's great. That was nice. The very next feedback I got was this one here, neutral. None was the feedback, and it was for that item. This feedback came from the original buyer that we ended up canceling the order for. This is what I don't think you should be allowed to do this. The purchase was never completed. The transaction was never completed. The order was canceled. Why is a buyer still able to provide feedback on a canceled order? This happened to me once before, and it was similar. I got a neutral feedback because they didn't like the fact that they ended up wanting the order canceled. And so this is very annoying. I wish eBay would do something about this. It's hard enough already with how they've changed what you can or can't do with negative feedback. And, these neutral feedbacks, that's fine. I think I have 2 in the last 12 months. So this one and one other. And that's fine, but don't allow it if they didn't actually purchase the item or the transaction was never completed. Very annoying. I mean, I have great feedback. I mean, I really take pride in the responses I get. This one here I just got for a big coffee percolator urn that I sent. And this went across the country, so from Seattle to Florida. And they actually messaged me and said, I'm just wanted to message you that you're getting this feedback. And so, but the feedback says, I was looking forward to getting the urn, but when it arrived, I was maybe more moved by the absolute top-notch packing of the urn for shipping. It could have been dropped out of an airplane and hit the ground without damage. The urn was in the new condition and looks like it wasn't used very much, as was described by the seller, KML Vintage Collectible Electronics. Everything was exactly as described, and the price and shipping was very reasonable. I am completely happy with this purchase. That's the kind of feedback I really cater to get. I mean, I want my buyers to give me feedback like that. I mean, I definitely go through extremes to make sure that they get the items that they purchased, that they thought they were getting. And many times, like this one, I undersell the item just to make sure that they're not going to be disappointed in condition. But when you get feedback like this negative, this was another one that this is the one that first happened when eBay kind of changed how they handled negative feedback. You're really stuck. You're just going to get negative feedback now, no matter what. In this case, this person bought a $5 lens that they said didn't have all the parts. Turned out it did. Then they said they actually ordered the wrong one by mistake, wrong size. And so when they did that, I was no longer culpable. I shipped the item that I said I was shipping. And I don't take returns, but in this case I said, I understand, I would gladly refund you your purchase price, the $5, and you can keep the item. Maybe you can sell it and get something you really want. No response. Never heard back. They never actually requested a return other than a message saying they wanted to return it. A week or so goes by and I get, the lens didn't fit, so I immediately informed the seller, who agreed to accept the return. Now this was the first message when they said, hey, it doesn't have the lens adapter that it's supposed to have. And I was pretty sure that it had everything it was supposed to have. And so I said, hey, if it doesn't have something that it's supposed to have, I will gladly do a return. And they said, no, 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 no. I ordered an adapter. Let me see how this goes. So I didn't hear from them for a couple of weeks. And then they said, hey, I ordered the wrong one by mistake. I want to return it. And so I had replied, hey, I'll go ahead and refund your money. But I wasn't going to pay their shipping. And I almost always require items to be returned. It's just my policy. But in this case, I was trying to be helpful. So they say, I mentioned that I would purchase a camera ring to see if that would help, or if not, I would proceed with the return. He said that was fine. After purchasing the camera ring, the lens still did not fit. I updated the seller and requested to return the lens, but he did not honor his promise, leaving me with a lens I can't use. Now, because we really have no options anymore, the only thing I could do was report the buyer for basically lying, and respond to the feedback and request a revision. So they, of course, did not respond to my revision request, which you only get 5 every so many months. So I replied, and I'm pretty diplomatic on stuff like this. I don't smash people online in any fashion. So this is a response to a buyer's complaint. I said, I'm so sorry that happened. I agreed to a refund when you indicated the item was missing parts. And then in parentheses, or in quotes, I said, it did include all items indicated as contents according to the package. It did. Then you indicated you ordered the wrong size by mistake, which they didn't mention. I then offered to refund your purchase price and that you could keep the lens, but you declined. You never submitted a refund formally, a return request formally, so I was unable to process your request. Please consider revising this negative feedback. And of course they didn't. So the only thing that I can do is basically point out the truth in these situations. Now, I wish eBay could step in and change these things, but I almost understand why they just have given up. So resellers are just going to have to live in this new world where negatives come, you can respond to them, hope you don't get them. This actually is my first negative feedback that stayed. I had, I'd say 2 others, maybe 3 other negative feedbacks. But they were either eBay removed them, or in one case I requested a removal and the buyer removed it. That one, they gave me negative because they didn't like how high the shipping was, and which I found odd because I took an offer, so they were able to decide how much they wanted to offer based on the shipping, but they also requested that I ship quickly. And so I shipped that day, and I shipped priority per their request. So I thought it was odd that they gave me negative feedback for shipping. They did end up changing that, but it's just one of those odd things. I think people don't understand the impact of negative feedback on eBay resellers, because I'm sure you do what I do. If I'm looking for something and I look at a buyer and I see this positive feedback last 12 months and it's 92% or 84%, I'm pass. I'll go to the next one. No sense in buying from that person. So I'm 99.6 right now because I have 1 negative feedback in the last 12 months. So yes, I'm irked. Yes, I understand this is the way it's going to be. So I try everything I can to prevent that. But the neutral from a buyer who didn't complete a purchase just strikes me as odd. Let me know what you think. I probably went on too long with this, but it's so odd to me that you can still give feedback when your purchase was never completed. Seems like a misstep on eBay's part, and hopefully someone from eBay will see this and think the same and do something about it. But again, I appreciate your time, appreciate you listening. Please let me know if you've had a situation like this that irks you with feedback, that feels unjustified. Please like and subscribe to the video and the channel. Let me know if you don't like something. And like I always say, if you don't like something, please don't dislike the video, but send me a comment, message on what you didn't like, if at all possible. Appreciate you guys. Join me next time.